Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. I had requests to do an update on the store-bought Phalaenopsis that are growing in the home. I've had no such requests for the Oncidium Alliance series, but you're going to get one anyway. On the grounds, it's mid-season. It's a good point to do an update, and I don't think I've done an update on these two since the beginning of the year, literally a long time ago. So I had a quick look at the previous video just to see what state these were in, and we've got this one here, which is, it's labelled, the bought label, Cambria Renaissance Coral. I think it's actually Beallara Marfitch Renaissance Coral, which may or may not be a registered name, and I can't be bothered to look it up one way or the other. I think it is actually a registered name. Whether Cambria is actually right or not, debatable. Anyway, when we looked at this last time, we had no roots. There were some roots in the pot, but they were in the pot. There was none showing. We couldn't see any root activity, and we had a little new growth coming out the side. Well, the growth has gone on and started to mature. I'm not sure how much bigger it's going to get, but it is in effect still growing. So, and it is possible it might bloom. But the plant had a bit of a setback. You know, it was quite a small plant to be blooming, and it got repotted and roots disturbed. But this new growth is actually pushing out some new roots now, and we do have some visible roots in the pot, some active growing roots. It's not a huge root system by any means, but we've got some. So yeah, new growth maturing, possibility of a bloom. He says, I do believe that's a spike. Oh, no, it's a root. You can get fooled. Yeah, actually the spike would probably come out a bit higher than that. But anyway, it's possible that this could bloom. Possible. So we shall see. So that's that one. Now, this one, in reality, is two plants in a pot. It did actually break in two when we repotted it. Now, last time we looked at this, we couldn't see any roots at all. There was the start, the real start, just showing of a few roots near the surface at the base of the plant. That's all we had. But we did have several new growths. Now, the new growths have pushed on quite nicely, sort of like this. We did get a few concertina leaves. It's funny, whenever I say the word concertina, I always think of a French cafe, you know, and some onions hanging up and people drinking coffee and wine and some bloke in a beret with a, you know, with a squeezy thing. Concertina. Anyway, the new growths, many of which we had, some of which have matured. They've come on reasonably well, despite a few concertina leaves. We now have mature growths, and we have a spike on that growth. You do realise this is the first time I've looked at this for some time. So these spikes, spike that I found, I didn't know was there for a start. Well, if there's one on that growth, why isn't there one on this one? Now, come on. Anyway, I suspect several of them will actually bloom. Certainly one of them is. But if you look at the... Let's go back again. Sorry to keep twisting this round. This growth is pushing on nicely, but it's not mature. There's no pseudobulb yet. It's just a growth shape. However, this one round here is much, much smaller, but it has formed its pseudobulb, so it's got to the point where it can push a spike out. And as far as roots are concerned, this has pushed out a lot of roots around the top of the pot, many of which can be seen much better if my hand wasn't in the way, are getting right down into the pot. So this has developed quite a good root system now, since we last looked at it. And it's active, it's growing well. And there's new ones still forming at the top, at the base of the new growths and things. So yeah, this one's coming on well. And this one was the Oncidium Katrin, Zock, Mieke. And no, I didn't pay that for it. Whenever there's a price on a label, it's highly unlikely Roger paid that price. I'm a haggler. The thing is, I know a lot of the traders. I know what they paid for it. And they know I know what they paid for it in a lot of cases. So, you know, when I say, I mean, I think I got £1 knocked off. It's not a lot of money. But for me, it's a principle. If I'm a loyal customer and I can put advertising on my videos for actual sellers, if they sell me a nice plant, I'll make it known and stuff like that. Knocking £1 off isn't really a big deal for them, is it? Anyway, those are the two. They live in the house. They're not getting any special treatment. Although they should have got some special treatment when I got the fungicide out a while ago. Because although these are old leaves and the new leaves are fine, when I had a fungicide mixed up in a sprayer, it was a bit silly not to include these, wasn't it? In case it spreads. This one's okay. I think there's that leaf, that old leaf over there, has got a few spots on it. But that for an Oncidium type, that one's quite clean. So there we go. Now these get watered when I water stuff in the grow room, when I've got water and feed on the go, and then I drag these out here and give them a water and take them back in again. But yeah, they've made reasonable progress, and as I say, we got at least one spike to look forward to, and we'll see where we go from there. I'll say they progressed quite well. See you next time.